Cat. Yo, 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 check, check, check. B94.9 WATV. It's me, Lady Wu. Welcome into the show. Happy Sunday to each of you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Corey Savage, for that intro. It's been a minute since I've heard it. You have to stop listening to things and give it a break and then listen again. And it sounds like new. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing all right.
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm absolutely splendid. I'm amazing. Wonderful. Marvelous. Fantastic.
All the words.
All of them.
Yeah, I'm all of those. Life's great, blessed, and highly favored.
Vital.
And I am vital. Yes.
One more around that song.
Amen. All right. Okay. How is your week? 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
2.
Or has it been 3 weeks?
2.
2 weeks. How have your 2 weeks been since I last saw you guys?
Ready, Eddie?
Mine have been pretty chill.
Okay.
No complaints. I did travel to Dallas, a little vacation, It was a good experience, good time. I can do without flights, but
I love
as a big man, I can do without flights because I don't pay for the big seats.
Are there really some big seats?
I pay somebody to give a weird time next to me.
So other than the flight, though, I know you went to Grub.
Yes,
that was on a taste tour.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the Latino population, there are millions. There's a lot of different fusions. So I went to a Vietnamese Mexican fusion.
Oh,
that was crazy. They had like ramen burritos. You just have
with the noodle in it.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know about that. That's a little runny.
No, it was like they dried the noodles, seasoned them without liquid, dried them, and it's like had bean sprouts and the stuff that would be in ramen, but in a burrito.
Okay.
It was solid. So it was delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed. Hat, what about you?
Man, just been living.
Okay.
City's been on popping, and I've been getting out their way.
So Birmingham has been Birminghaming, and you've been out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't gone anywhere recently.
Nah, we chilling.
Okay. Well, I definitely took New York by storm. I love it. People, what is it about New York? It's New York. That's what it is. It's everything. It's the food. It's the people. It's the excitement. It's the energy. I did go in Times Square for the first time at an early hour. So I've been there before, a few times before, and it was always jam-packed. I'm talking about people everywhere. Everybody holding their phone up, selfie in here, selfie in there. But I went after the Today Show. I wanted to be one of the ones to go show Holder them my sign. I made a sign because it was my birthday. Well, the day I got there was a concert. So I said, well, I be damned. So I took pictures with the sign. Then I went to Times Square and nobody was there. So that was amazing for me. I was able to just kind of look around and see it without all the people. So that was different. Did a whole lot of other things. You can see my social media for those things. All right. Allergy and asthma sufferers. This is definitely a season for you to keep your inhalers and nebulizers close because as you can hear, I'm very much short of breath. I'm gonna go tomorrow to get that checked on because it's classic weekend. Can't nobody be out here unable to breathe.
You feel me?
You hear me? Yes. It's a struggle, but we're gonna be ready. 5 inhalers and a nebulizer on deck.
On deck. And a shot if you need it.
Epinephrine, all of that. We're gonna be ready. We are ready. Medicine balls prepared, tea bags roasting, toasting, whatever they do. Yeah, we're gonna be ready. All right. With all of that out of the way, we've had great weeks. We are back live. People were asking, well, when y'all coming? I like to be asked when we're returning.
Right.
That's really exciting. So thank you guys for tuning in. I see that the internet signal is low, but hopefully you can see and hear wherever you are. And we want you to check in. So far, I see Victor Edwards. And I see about, I'm not going to say how many people, but I see some other people viewing. Where you're viewing, I don't know. So please check in and let us know. I see a couple on
the V page.
Yeah, let us know. Check in. All right. You guys, there was a new sandwich that came out, I guess over the week. Eddie, this may not make you happy because it's not real deal fancy food. It's not gourmet.
It ain't got to be.
Okay, it's just good food. Baby.
That chicken mac.
Yes.
That chicken mac.
McDonald's outmatched themselves, okay? They have dropped a Mac chicken big. No, it ain't. It ain't a Big Mac because it's Burger King. It's a Mac chicken.
It's a Big Mac, but
they got a Big Mac. It's just
what
chicken Mac.
It's just chicken.
What's the one called? I'm thinking about a Whopper. You're right. Yeah, I just
chicken.
crossed them together. It's a Mac chicken doubled. Okay, it's two. It's not the all beef patties. It's 2 chicken patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. It is delicious. Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? You don't seem excited.
It's okay.
Hey, you hadn't tried it.
I ain't tried it yet.
When I try it again, I'm going to get mayo on it instead of Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, and I've been seeing people ask about that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
I want that. I want the sauce, special sauce.
I want special sauce.
You want the special sauce?
Yeah,
the Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
My chicken sandwich.
I'm with you. I gotta have mayo and mustard.
Yeah,
that makes the.
That's not a Big Mac.
Yeah, I mean, Big Mac is just a bun. Come on.
I see the Big Mac as the setup, the 3 pieces of bread and the 2 pieces of meat. That's the Mac.
Special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. That's the whole idea, you guys, with 2 chicken patties.
Yeah, we'll let you have that.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing. I know.
It's still good now.
Yeah, a lot of people think
it's worth to buy.
Yes, I ate it twice in a week.
Did you large the fries too?
I can't handle all that now.
Look, I love buying the new sandwiches anywhere. If I roll up to a place and they got a new burger, I'm like, let me get that.
Let me try it. That's me. I want a Roadhouse this or whatever. So the kickback and the fuss that I got was that y'all still eat McDonald's. Y'all still smoke Black and Milds. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Like, do everything right, then come holler at you.
Right. What's the problem?
Yeah. Hey, we still eat McDonald's.
Yeah. I want some fries every now and then, and I'm trying this sandwich, and the sandwich was busting. So yeah, if you hadn't tried that, it's Woo approved. And then Eddie said it.
I worked at McDonald's for like my first 6 years during high school and after. Mm-hmm. So I wake up in a cold sweat sometimes wanting a Big Mac.
My daddy was a manager at McDonald's. Yeah. He was a manager at McDonald's, the one that was downtown by the Harbor Center. Y'all remember that one on the corner? You probably won't remember that, Eddie. You remember that? I know you were. Yeah,
absolutely.
You was driving by then, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely driving. I've been driving for a long time.
Yeah, so he worked down there. We would go, get all the toys and whatnot. So I still have a appreciation for McDonald's. So that happened. Some other things that we've noticed and that are happening around the world. I drove through Fairfield. I drove back through Birmingham. And yeah, Fairfield is like the last of it's a shell of a city. And then I came on into Birmingham and I'm like, well, this don't look too much better. Why is it that what's happening? what the
resources?
And that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, can people not afford to have businesses anymore? Are people not shopping how they used to shop? Are they not supporting how they used to support? What's happening?
Fairfield is just ghosted.
I mean, now they mad because Miles leaving. But I'm like, well, what did Miles really bring? What did they do?
Tax revenue.
A little bit. But the students still didn't have it ain't like they were shopping in the city.
But that building was sure paying a lot of taxes.
Okay, well.
I mean, they lost police.
Yeah,
the sheriff been out there for, the weeds is bad. The roads is bad. It's bad. Now the new grocery store is bumping.
I heard that was bad. Like, they telling people they gotta come shop because the produce is going bad. It's going bad.
We need to go buy. We need to support.
And that's the thing, like, support. So come on down 3rd Avenue. There's a Black-owned beauty supply store. Now they're closing. They moved from right here in the New Crossplex subdivision or area to up on 3rd on Best Super Highway. Now they're closing. So, the whole thing about we got to support, I can only go so many places and spend so much money trying to support. That's just real.
I agree.
I mean,
all your other aunties, they on Amazon. Come on down and get that
yeah.
weed from them.
Okay, so it's stuff like that. Like, and I think about having a brick and mortar building. You got a lot of restaurants that have been successful. We think, you'll see a crowd every now and then, like, oh, they're doing good. But you have to think about the overhead that it takes
Right.
to run businesses, pay taxes,
Facts.
pay employees.
All that.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, especially on this side when ain't nobody. I mean, the violence is hurting too.
Oh.
Yeah, that's hurting.
I know a lot of Miles alumni were upset about the changes made to homecoming, but the violence was the reason that was given for that.
Absolutely.
So it's stuff like that. I want to hear what y'all think about it. I'm not personally bothered by anything. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, if I'm creating the life I want to live, and there are just certain things and certain, I'm not letting institutional things and organizational things bother me like that. I don't give a damn. You don't ever have to have homecoming if you don't want. I don't care.
Hey.
You don't have to. What else? What else don't I care about? We had this every year, or we go to this place every other week. So find a new one. That's just my attitude.
Hey, Miss Lucy.
So yeah, what do you all think about that? 9948949. You can also comment in the comments on the live about just the changes that are happening. I think it's a sign of the times where everything looks depleted and dilapidated. But what needs to happen? Is it some facade grants, or is it just the idea that maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not bothered, but I do know that a lot of what we see dictates how we act. And not us particularly, but young people that have never seen a thriving Fairfield, or thriving Inslee, or thriving West End. What do you think about that?
It's well, they don't know what they don't know.
So if I ain't never seen it, I ain't missing nothing.
Yeah.
It just looked dead and dilapidated around here. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Yeah, y'all can be a part of that if you like. I think we have our guest here. A little late there, but we'll see if we can get you in. So, all right. Shouts out to, hey, Reddy Kruger and Lyndon. Everybody else is checking in. Check in. I want your thoughts and opinions on this part of the conversation. That's just my observation this evening alone, just riding around the city, headed into the studio. And I was just like, dang, that looks dead. That grass is high. All of them houses right there need to be knocked down. That church is vacant. That car lot, then here's a tire shop.
I mean, I'm on your kind of time. I'm kind of with the, like, to find somewhere else to go, But the reality is, the cost of everything is going up for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, the cost of food is going up. The cost of rent is going up. People are having less money to be, frivolous with and just spend on stuff just to support stuff. And what you supposed to do with that? These businesses too. They rent going up.
So just the idea that what?
we in the hood.
Oh, okay, what they want it?
Yeah. Radio information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Live radio. Live radio in the hood, baby. Okay. So yeah, resources. Resources are limited. We got to buy groceries. We got to pay for where we stay. And just fund the lifestyles that we live. And you try to incorporate small business in, but we're not even just looking at small business. Kmart is closing their last store, like right now.
Yeah.
Big Lots is going out of business in the city or everywhere. I noticed another business that was gone that I didn't even realize was gone. Restaurants are closing and opening every day. So yeah, just wondering what y'all think about that.
I think COVID has a small play in this because a lot of people went to online shopping. And so just never went back. Went back to the store. You know what I'm saying? Even with restaurants, food trucks, took over a little market for a little while. So, some people just didn't bounce back for a steady time. So like that impact on a small business is greater than a chain.
Oh, for sure.
But chains are closing too because nobody going shopping like that in the Kmart. I'm just not going to Kmart.
I don't want to go to Kmart. I mean, but see, like, okay, so yeah, not remembering stores like that. Our children really only have Target that they talk about and that they know.
Target.
We had so many options.
Yeah, Zayre's, Kmart. Oh, I'm going way back.
It's okay.
Amazon came
it's
in
all right.
and changed the landscape of how people get stuff. And I think this only growing. You got Walmart adding that service on for them. in DoorDash, you can get stuff from grocery stores and stuff now.
Yeah,
Grubhub, all
sure.
these systems keep people from having to leave.
We don't even have a Kroger in Birmingham, but you got Kroger delivery.
They coming.
Where they come?
I be seeing that truck.
Where do you all get your stuff?
Trucks,
Where
they
they bringing
coming
stuff
in.
to?
A
Everybody.
lot of
Is it to
people.
the stores or the people?
No, to your door.
I think they're direct orders.
Yeah, they come right to the door.
So I'm wondering,
we own
where's the
Kroger.
warehouse?
Yeah, I have no idea, but we own it.
There's Kroger's in my hometown too.
Yeah, we own it.
So they in Alabama. So
Let's
I don't
go.
know where the closest Kroger is.
I'm telling you, it's got to be a warehouse.
It's
Carla, you're in with Vital, the show. What you got?
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
We're great. How are you?
Good, good. I found you this first time caller, long time listener. This is Rico. How you doing, Woo?
Hi, Rico. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
That's what's
So
up.
I just wanted to kind of chime in if I can.
Absolutely.
All right. So on the small business side of things, as you guys were talking about, is one thing small business has been preyed upon for a long time. So you look at the boom, like when people were buying houses and banks was giving everybody houses.
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing with entrepreneurs and small businesses. They just start, begin burst out of nowhere, and people giving grants and loans to all type of businesses. Well, we've seen a decline and we've seen the struggle of small business owners because we're getting preyed upon. They're telling us we don't have enough capital. And so everybody's actually getting in more debt trying to start a business or run a business or keep the doors open. And so ultimately, it's part of the grand scheme of things. You want the small people in some type of debt, some kind of way. And so me personally, I think that small businesses is going to be on decline. Less people are going to go to that market of small businesses because we say it helps the economy, but it doesn't help the grand scheme of things of what I believe that the higher power would want from society, because we're more independent. We're at home more. We're with our families more. We got more leisure time when we're a small business owner. We got more opportunities to create the path that we want to create versus going to clock in for someone. So ultimately, I think that it's a bigger play on how things are going out here.
Thank you for that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that does make sense, y'all. That's Rico with I Push. Hello, hello. Thank you for that. Some of our listeners and viewers are saying that the warehouse is next to the old Coca-Cola building in Homewood off Oxmoor. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I want to go see it though. Y'all got a whole grocery store over there. We can't come to it.
Warehouse.
Okay.
Come get it.
What's up, Cal? So everybody's saying that it's about the convenience. So people want convenience. I get that. I do understand that. But to me, convenience is me being able to jump in my car and run to the store right quick.
Yeah.
That is convenience to me. Ordering is convenient, or Amazon is convenient when I need something. When I'm just looking for something that can come from anywhere, cool. But when I just need something right quick, I don't need you to drop me off a case of water. I just want to go pick it up. I just need some milk and eggs. I just want to go pick it up.
You old school. New school ain't trying to lead out. It's all about that doorstep service. DoorDash, like you said, DoorDash. You got Ship. You got Instacart.
I don't like that.
I mean, they don't even drive no more.
But also we got persons.
They don't dance no more. They don't drive no more.
We got persons with disabilities now that got an easier way. Then we got parents who would have to go to the grocery store after school, and that take an hour and a half out of their day. They could just get home and groceries be there. Like it's trade-offs. It benefits some people, but for other people, it's tough. See, me, I'm a couponer, so I be going into the stores with the deals. Absolutely,
I used to.
I be going in the store with the deals. I be going straight to the clearance section.
Hold on, you kind of get the money back too.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I have to.
But I ain't gonna lie, I am still that. I do want the deal. Well, that's a part of me going to the store. If you're door dashing for me, you're gonna pick up what you think. Like you pick up what I select, but then don't they have the option to just get something else, do something else, or do they have to ask you?
You can choose something if certain things are not there. But I think the universal understanding is that if it's a man that doing your order, it's finna be messed up.
Wow.
Oh. That's why I'm going to the store and I'm shopping store brand. I go to all day and I'm buying everything. I love that middle aisle with that randomness. I'm buying all the randomness.
Love all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for chiming in on that. And I don't know if that's the reason why Fairfield looks like it looks. I don't know if that's the reason that Bessemer Road looks like it looks. I don't know if that's the reason why so many houses are vacant. I don't think it is. But neither small businesses. I don't think that that's the reason for any of it. I think that the bigger global reason is that people are simply different.
I agree.
People are just different. Um, will people ever be the same or be how we remember them? No. And no. Okay.
Yeah, I think the whole world changed. I like before COVID, you got a marker. Life after, life before.
ADBC.
I mean, it is different.
COVID.
Everything.
AD.
Work.
BC.
School.
No, it's BC, AD,
Yeah,
COVID.
COVID.
Dang. And that's how I see it. What's up, Dwayne? That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we continue on our way through the week and through things that I've been noticing, I've noticed that it's a Magic City Classic week. And everybody's excited about that.
ASU.
Excited about that. Shouts out to everybody who's already in the city. I don't know if y'all drove that way. I've been I'm telling you, on Sundays, I take me a little lap. I go all around the city, see what I can see, holler who I can holler at. And I went by Legion Field and I looked at the parking lot by Tabernacle Church. Them RVs out, they here.
They here.
Y'all stay here for a whole week.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are nice to those who are here from other places, those who came back home for the Magic City Classic. Look out for them. I know that the lots are open. Legion Field is open for you to go and kick it with your people throughout the week. They're already setting tents up, so I'm sure vendors will be out soon. So enjoy the Magic City Classic. Now, you mentioned that earlier, was it this week? Was it like Monday?
Monday, Tuesday.
Or end of last week, something like that, that the announcement went out for the mayor's green carpet event.
Yeah.
The green carpet event started off as a public event to kick off the Magic City Classic for the citizens of Birmingham, Alabama. Free event. You just have to get your ticket at the Birmingham Art Museum. Really nice event. You know, it used to be like really top notch. Everybody wanted to be there. And it started selling out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Even though it's free. So the tickets started going away. The tickets were unavailable after 3 minutes. That's what I meant to say. Okay. This year, well, it wasn't even 3 minutes. You got on there, you put your information in, and you didn't get a ticket.
Nothing. Glitched, back in, out.
And no more, right? The people were really angry about that.
For real? Yeah. Well, I saw some, but
they were really bothered. The rest of us made a joke of it, but everybody they were really angry. Were any of our listeners eager to get to the mayor's green carpet event? I want to know, because I read these comments, and I know Birmingham has a habit of jumping on the bandwagon with topics. We'll go in on something for weeks. Just, it'd be something small, and everybody got their own spin on it in the city. So I saw a lot of stuff about the green carpet. I saw people come on and just, if I can't get in it, I'm going to do my own. So I saw a lot of that. So there are other events happening. But the ones that really were offended by the mayor's green carpet party, and they said, well, the city employees got them all.
Yep.
They said, that was the main thing. You can't use our funds to have a party and we can't come.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, go. Like, what are you saying? Go to the party. What they gonna tell you? I told y'all when I was at CBC, I went on none of them lists. And I said, hey, I'm here. And they looking at the list, Dana, Woodruff. Okay, we don't sit, write it down. They wrote it down. I went in. What you gonna tell me? Because I'll go back and tell the officials at the state or somewhere that you denied me access to a public event. It's a little secret, you guys. Okay. Eddie, you going?
Nope.
You want to go?
I ain't even know about it till folks was mad.
Right. What y'all mad for? That's what it's the green carpet,
Yeah,
Eddie.
like,
you didn't want to go? I don't even know what you're talking about.
That kind of stuff just it don't appeal to me at all.
And here rubbing up on each other because it's so packed and tight. Can't get the hors d'oeuvres quickly. They cold by the time you get to them. Get you a drink by the time you be done wait in line. Got another drink. You want another drink? Let me throw a old kickback.
It's a nice upscale kickback.
Yeah. And it's Birmingham. It's like, okay, so we do this tonight. And I think it's a great opportunity for those who have not gone. But if you have gone, why you mad? The same people you see on Facebook every day.
The mayor got some haters out here. I don't even know why they would make a event random like that. The mayor.
Well,
he did,
people
but I
go out
told
there to
you why
confront that man all night long.
Yes, It's his event, right?
It's the mayor's green carpet. Yeah.
It's
I don't even know why they would make that like open the way anybody could come if they got a ticket.
Because it's could be that was the idea. It's a green carpet, meaning come one, come all. It's a city event, right? It's not an Alabama State, Alabama A&M University event. It's the mayor's welcome to the classic event.
right.
And they just should have built a big old stage and just
Yeah,
like let the
right?
thing be open
Now-
to the public in the
Now
first
you're
place.
talking.
So
I
look,
think that was the other thing. Like you knew it has sold out or reached capacity for the last couple of years. Like last year, they was out in tents all outside and everything. So
it's a whole
like-
park across the street.
Yeah, it's definitely. But I mean, for me, it's a whole week of events.
Like
Go
if
to
you're gonna make
something
it
else.
like if you're gonna make it a free event, it probably shouldn't be set up like a private event. It should probably be set up like a
And
public
Like a free
event.
event.
That's what I think a lot of people would.
But
was
that's the
rubbing.
thrill of it. Like, get the ticket. If you don't get it, I think the idea of being like, so I don't care to get a ticket or not, but it's
but
that thing of being denied. Like, dang, I didn't get a ticket, and you get mad about that, even if you don't really want to go.
I mean, every event got ticket limitations. Like you try to get in, you can't buy your ticket at Art on the Rocks too late.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like every event is like that, you know. But
not
it's
a-
like
not
people
a
being
ticket.
mad. I guess gives some sentiment of we supposed to have access to this mayor.
Yeah.
And we want access to this mayor, and he don't be responding to me on Facebook.
Oh,
And I was gonna say something to him when I saw him in person. I don't know. Somebody thought like that. I ain't saying that's the overwhelming majority. I'm just somebody that was on somebody's mind.
They gave it to him on that though. But the way it happened, it was like 2 minutes. A lot of people said they kept trying and it went all the way out to about 12:15. But I know at 12:08 I was done. Tapped out. No more energy. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, a lot of those people who have never been probably wanted to get that experience. And then of course, y'all got already the seats let out, everybody. And so I get it all. But at the end of the day, it's a whole week of events. Try again next
a
year.
whole week of events with about 10 or 11, if not more, events every
day.
night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this though, when them photos of people being at that green carpet event start coming out, if it's just elites in the city, then it's gonna be a situation.
It's what it's gonna be.
If that's what it's gonna be,
That's
just
what it
make it
was.
private. Just
That's
make
what
it
it's gonna
private.
be, huh?
Just make it private.
Oh.
Don't even put up the facade for the people.
And I think that's the issue. Like, it's time to move it.
Okay. So to where? What event? I mean,
It's
what
the
event
mayor.
space
You
is
can have
bigger?
wherever you want to have it in.
Okay, but you just saying like what's bigger? Like,
Oh.
would it be an outdoor event? Is it a
Hey.
like where are some event spaces that are
Avondale Brewery, I
conducive?
don't care.
Okay, just somewhere else. All right.
It probably need to be two
But
events.
that's
Probably need to
big
be a
enough.
private event and a public event.
That's big enough and nice enough, outside enough.
Probably
Since it is both in and out anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It really is. So like I'm telling you guys, trust me on this. You can go down there if you like, okay? You can fellowship outside and still get the same energy of the event. Food trucks are outside. Nobody can tell you that you can't walk up to the art museum and be a part of that part of it.
Right.
You may not be able to, I don't know how much flex you got, how finesse you are. You may not be able to get in and partake in the entertainment piece of it all, but you can be in the energy of it.
Yeah.
Just go be in the energy of it. And then you got City Walk right around the corner. You got other venues right around the corner. You walk around. I want to see Birmingham walking. I want to see us moving from event to event on foot. Y'all be trying to find parking spaces in a box. It's nowhere to park. Just walk. So I want to see that. I want to see you guys going to the different venues. Uptown Jazz is right around the corner from the art museum. What else is around there? What's the other club we always go to? Alumni Weeks. What's that? Under the Bridge. Chasers. Got that right there. Y'all can walk to that. If it's something going on in Uptown, you can walk to that. So yeah, you might want to just walk. We're making it walkable. Okay, that's all I got on that. Anything else that we need to cover as far as things that happened over the week that had y'all in a chokehold?
Well, I'm gonna throw this one out there. The arrests were made.
Oh yeah.
We didn't get to talk about that one.
Well, a 22-year-old young man, and all of these dots were connected.
He got bodies.
Man, I want to see. You know how on the crime shows where they had the string connecting the people in the
it's there for you.
situations, baby. I want to see.
It's there.
Cause what 20, baby? What in the world?
Going back to 2017, it's there.
And you couldn't. You weren't even. What were you? If you 22 now, maybe 16, 17.
Those guys going all the way back to 2017. The dots. and the most recent activity. You went
Back
on
to
I'm
back.
talking about back to back with it. Like what?
So, in congruence with that, the mayor has all this is something good, right? Like he has put together a task force led by our former police chief, Chief AC Roper.
Big move.
Okay. That's my guy. Chief AC Roper took me to Washington, D.C. with him to be on a panel at Howard University. That was some big stuff. Shouts out to former police chief AC Roper with the former FBI director, Jim Comey. That's who I was with.
Yeah.
I was with them in D.C. on a panel. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, enough of that. To have to bring him back, though, like,
well, okay, because you had your thoughts on when he left, but he was effective,
Yeah.
right? Very effective. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost 90% sure crime was at its lowest under his leadership, right? So he has a lot of expertise. But it was good to see him in this capacity, which he won't have the pressure of. It will be independent, and so it should be good.
Yeah. I want to know who's on the task. I want to pull that up so we can figure out the names and those who are on there, because I'm like this. You're looking at what's happening, right? I don't know if I shared this on the air last time we were live, but what we're hearing is that a lot of this is retaliation and is the results of loyalty. And I'm hearing this from the people that are involved. This is about loyalty. And so I often do groups on like, well, what is loyal? Like, define that. What's your definition of loyalty? And I'm going to ask y'all that. What's your definition of loyalty? Your own personal definition.
Devotion to something or someone.
Okay.
To me, I feel like it's a blind devotion.
Yeah, okay.
I guess there's two, like loyalty in a marriage is different than loyalty in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Break that thing down for us.
I think that when you generally talking about loyalty, I think we talking about just that general I'm gonna be there for you, I'm present for you, I'm not gonna ask no questions, I trust you in all of these different ways. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a healthy version of that, but then the unhealthy version is regardless of what you done got into, and what you done did, what you done participated in, I'm going to vow my allegiance to you in terms of retaliation, in terms of all these different things.
That's what they are. So that's their version of loyalty. Mm-hmm. So basically, is as long as we, this is for my homie, this is for my cousin, this is for my partner, I'm gonna do this. Like y'all did that, we gonna do this. Y'all did that, it's that. So it's gonna be ping pong. I'm like, so until when, y'all? There's no answer to until when. We just gonna do this until we gonna do this. We gonna kill until ain't no more killing to do, I guess. And I'm like, well, damn. So that means that there are no programs, no answers that we need. What is our role in all of that?
It's so complex,
right?
I think
to hear it from their own mouths. Yeah. Okay, so y'all don't want no programs. No, not for real, because it's still what it is.
Ain't no program gonna take away the hatred that accumulated from they person getting hurt.
Yeah.
And Tupac said in his one of his songs, real ends never die. We just retaliate with hate, then we multiply. And that's what happens. Because not even just those dudes, but people who are innocent bystanders.
Oh, yeah.
They got hood cousins.
Yeah.
They in it too. Like somebody who wasn't supposed to get shot, they got shot. They getting drug into this because it's like, now these people out here jeopardizing my family. How does it stop? I don't know.
I think this one of them has got to run its course situations. This particular. There's another documentary y'all can check out on YouTube where a guy comes in. He's down in Mobile, Montgomery area, just talking to the guys, just hearing it from themselves. Like they don't care. And how do you? There's no program to legislate your heart, like to care, like life. Like, when you're like babies, it don't matter, mama, where you at on spot. If I see you, it is what it is. So you can't police.
And I'm gonna hit who around you. Like it's all of that.
You can't police that.
And you can't. Can we therapy that? Can we therapize that? No, because I'm still gonna get my lead back. I can sit in here and talk to you all day, Eddie. You dope. I like you. I actually like my therapist. But when I walk out your office and he outside.
And I'm in the detention center as of the last since the beginning of the summer,
Mm-hmm.
working with these kids on creating podcasts. Some of them who have been participating in this stuff, and it's like theoretically they want to change.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I'm out of that life. Theoretically, this is the best thing that happened to me. But when you go right back
I'm
into the same
going back.
environment, right back into the same people, right back into the same hatred, right back into that same loyalty, and right back into the same expectations of loyalty. Because you
Yes.
go out there and be like, "Hey, I'm out, guys." Out what? You know too much. It's a situation like you're trapped in several different forms. Not to mention we can still talk about redlining, the systemic piece. We can still talk about the over policing in the community, that piece. We can still talk about all of these things.
Let's see what our caller's talking about. Hey, what you got?
Hey, local lady Woo.
What up? How you doing?
Good, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
My Thursday.
It's coming up Thursday.
Yes.
Well, happy early birthday to. I want to say happy birthday to you. Oh, John Madison. Happy birthday. Phone lines are open 994-8949. So really looking at the idea of loyalty in action and what that looks like by definition. And we see what it looks like by definition in the Magic City. In Birmingham, like it looks like people saying I'm not going to participate in Classic because they real life on site. So I could very much be at Legion Field with my people and somebody make a call or whatever they're going to do to say that they see you. And then now, that's that.
And to your point, it's a bad element because at some point these guys got to realize that you're putting others in jeopardy. Just this week, the 2 kids were shot right here.
Yeah.
Right.
In the car with
the Fairfield link. Right.
Really?
Yeah. And so that you hot. You got kids in the car, and you hot. Like at some point, that element got to stop. Right.
That's the part I be on. Like I'm gonna go out publicly.
Go by yourself.
Go out of town.
Well, that's what Woody from the trial told a story about how some people pulled up on him and he had his daughter with him and he kind of had to put his daughter behind his back. And it's like at some point also mothers got to be like, hey, when you had a baby, you got to go a city over. You got to get an Airbnb in Huntsville or Nashville or something. Yeah. You got to go somewhere away from where people are looking for you, because when they see your car, when they see the way you was at on your last Facebook Live, like there's a strong community of within street culture of catching them lacking. So they are waiting for you to be somewhere where you ain't supposed to be, or you're not aware of the possibility of somebody getting you.
Or like if I'm in line at a club, I probably don't have my piece on me. If I'm sitting in church with my gun, I am, and I don't pray with my eyes closed.
You ain't got to.
Or even if you got no piece.
This is me. Like I really don't do. I don't like everybody else. Y'all cry and close your eyes if you want to.
Even if you in that line and you do have your piece on you, from their perspective, you're not paranoid enough. You out here.
Okay.
You out here in the streets.
Think you're invincible.
Yeah, you're not paranoid enough. You're supposed to be hiding out. You ain't supposed to be in the street amongst the populace.
That's how it used to be, but they don't see those things. And I don't know. I don't know. But to be connected to so many different situations. You mentioned this young man being 22 years old, and I'm just like, if you the shooter they call, I don't want to talk about nobody, child, because they might be tuned in, really enjoying the show right now. But I wonder what the backstory is.
Yeah.
Like I tied all these lives together and I took them. How much you made? What?
Yeah. But the other element to this, all of them got bodies.
On both sides.
Yeah. So it's not really a lot of innocent players in this. Right.
Jeez. The children and the other people. So yeah.
Only one in this particular situation was the firefighter, right? He just happened to be and so it still was a reason.
Jeez.
Listen, some of the kids in the detention center that I'm telling the story is not confidential. They know that the intention is for those stories to be out. Some of the stories that these 13-year-olds is telling are crazy to me at the age of 13.
And you do believe the stories? Like you believe that these are true stories?
Yes, they not telling lies.
Because now,
Probably can trace them back. Probably can trace someone back to when it happened, what happened, if I got deep enough into it. But like, no, I believe their stories.
you're 13. Where are your parents? Or you're 13 now. Or
Right.
you're 14 now. Why in the hell were you even allowed to not be with your parents or your somebody that was responsible for you? So that's why I'm like, start arresting the parents then. What do we really get into that piece of it?
That's another real plea.
Like either arresting them.
We're harboring criminals.
Yeah, like you're birthing criminals. You're gonna have to pay for
But
this.
the system births the circumstances.
Oh, Eddie. Let me play something for that. That was old Dr. Umar. Let me find something. Hold on.
We got to get a better name than Dr. Umar in these moments.
I mean, but King said it, right? Dr. King said it.
Umar
That was a
go.
black moment.
It was.
Yeah, I like
King, Malcolm.
Wow. That we used to get this was
Yeah.
his music and some years ago. Eddie was coming with them black jewels. What was the name of that segment?
In the black of my mind.
Yes. Golly. In the black of his mind, the system created the circumstances.
It did.
And this is true. Wow. Okay, to continue.
It goes to that cycle. So at the end of the day, if we start arresting the parents, it's just a bunch of black parents gonna be arrested while their kids are still out here until they get arrested. You know?
So is that the program? I mean, I don't know. Okay, options. If it's a bunch of black parents, I saw some research being proven in a news story on national news where this guy was talking about the switches.
Mm.
And he was saying that most of the victims of killings by switches are black people.
Mhm.
So would the government just giving the switches to the black boys? Because I heard they were like 3D printed or something, right? How they get?
Man,
Some of them are 3D printed.
yeah, some of them.
So the ones that people buy unofficially are going to be the ones that 3D printed. The ones that people buy officially on the market, that probably one of your favorite gun organization distributors probably make on the side.
Okay, and then they bring those to the hood.
Of course. Real talk. I heard a guy on the video say they got them out of Chicago.
The switches.
And now they're here. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
They got the gun. They got the switches out of Chicago.
And now they're here.
Yeah, because it is kind of calm in Chicago since Lori Lightfoot ain't the mayor no more, right?
Yeah. So
they got Brian Johnson now.
So they brought Chicago to Birmingham.
But who is the they? The government. You guys are going to get us. Hey, shouts out to everybody who's tuned in right now saying that they carry their switches to church and don't close their eyes either. Those are my kind of people.
Your favorite white gun owners out here got switches.
Really?
Yes. They love guns too much not to try the new stuff that be coming out. I mean, they privileged enough to not be in the circumstances of being in an environment that creates violence in the way that it creates in some other communities.
So we're gonna go with this: circumstances plus environment equals self-destruction.
Yeah, product of the environment.
Listen, if I had an unlimited amount of money and somebody said fix this issue in the city, I would probably connect a certain amount of money to parents going to parenting classes in order to acquire money. You get a check if you come to these classes and learn skills for raising kids. And it might not save your 18-year-olds, but it's going to save everybody born from a year and moving on. If parents can learn how to parent intentionally, if parents can have some money that keep them from having to work so much, if they can actually be at home sometimes to actually raise and tend to their kids, I would do that. I would tie it to putting money in the community for parents to learn parenting skills, because a lot of parents just don't know how to parent. They don't know what to do to keep their kids from experiencing the worst parts of bad environments.
So TANF on Swole, because basically there are some programs that through the system, like you get your food stamps and then you get welfare, and there are classes, but those aren't the type of classes we're talking about. We're talking about like very
intentional parents,
social emotional learning.
All that.
If every parent can read the human development book that we read in school,
that's right.
If they read that and can pass a test on it, they can get some money.
I agree.
Okay, how much? Because what's an amount? I always have to ask what amount, because that's about perspective too. When I say how much is a life worth, and they be like priceless. And this
some kind of stipend, some kind of, and I'm thinking program stipend, like
an amount of money,
a set like
5,000
salary,
10,000.
like. But
I was thinking I think an amount of money that will make a parent read a book just to get some insight about how to parent.
Yeah.
$5,000
for starters, right?
Yeah,
That's a good start.
then
All right.
let's level up to something like let's keep leveling that up so that these parents can be more intentional.
Because people be like, it's no handbook to parenting, but kind of sort of. There's some things that have shown to be true, and there's some people who have been parented by some great people, some educated people, some spiritual people, some whatever people that have made decent people. We came from somebody that had something. They didn't read a book, but I think that a book could be written now.
Yeah, and we got to get people back to God.
Okay,
The
right.
moral code and the compass is gone, and that's a lot of what you see as well.
And it's still perspective because your God, we had somebody call in last show with
Yeah,
a
we
Chinese
did.
God. That was a lady.
It's still gonna be the same moral code because all of them preach the same
Okay,
social order. Right?
love and peace.
Yeah. So
You
But
know
then
what?
they're gonna get mad when you
What?
say your God is. I mean, okay, Eddie, I'm sorry.
When I was growing up in school, I didn't like missing school. I liked going to school,
I can
but
see that.
early in school, I hated. I wanted to go to school when I was sick. I did not want to be at home. I just didn't. I just want to go to school. But if you had perfect attendance, then a local bank would give you $100 by the end of the school year. So imagine a system like that to where parents being intentional about getting their kids to school. Because of that. But not only that, but the kids also get money too. So they build up their own motivation and desire to go to school.
I like that.
And an outcome for it. And then if you miss like less than 5 days, then you get $50. So it's wiggle room for stuff to happen.
So positive consequences, not always just negative consequences
Yeah.
like truancy and the police coming to your door.
and that
okay.
works. But the mayor had that that program
Yeah.
to get attendance, positive effect. The reading scores, we blew them. We blew them out the water. So if we can get them there, they could be taught, right? So
who's gonna fund it?
I don't know how he got the funding for that, but one of my members got a check. So
It was a decent check.
I mean, I don't know how much it was, but I just saw on the news with a little check, and I was like, "Hey, that's a good mama right there."
And you
That's
know
a good
what?
baby.
I do it for some pizza. We used to read them books for a pizza. Right?
Oh.
That what was the name of the program?
They gave the Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Will you check the books out?
You write the books that you read and you turn the sheet. Even if you didn't read it, you go get a pizza. It's little stuff like that. Like what are some incentives? You remember that?
I do. I'm just trying to think of the name of it. And
Kristen, what's the name of that? Because I'm gonna
my
read these
wife's
30
on here.
books.
Victoria, what's the name of that?
I'm gonna read these books. I never got the math awards. I don't know what they
Book it?
had.
Was it Book It?
It's like Scholastic Readers.
I don't know, but I don't know.
I know
I think
exactly.
it was.
what
I
you're
want to.
the book
I
fair,
don't know.
baby. Don't play.
That was something different. But see, it was so many different things back then where students were motivated.
It was called Book It. Yeah.
It was booking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna write it down and get this personal pan pizza. I am. What was an incentive to act good? We won't have a pizza party if y'all act good. But now pizza, that ain't. So what could they have now? Sushi rolls.
Man. They order their own food.
These
Yeah.
kids
So
need,
what? So
the
that's what
kids,
I'm
they
saying.
need money. They need money.
Yeah,
Money on the
money.
card. So they
Yeah.
get Uber, so they get DoorDash or something like that.
So
Yeah.
none of the little cute stuff no more.
Nah,
Kids know too much now.
technology.
Damn.
way
We ain't know
advanced
nothing. We ain't, growing up then in the Book It times, I ain't know what was going on past where I can walk.
Just be
Yeah.
just be smiling,
Yeah,
ready to go
happy
to
to be
school.
down there. Yeah, you happy to be in the lunchroom.
I just
Yeah.
love my bike.
I talked to a kid recently. He said, I said, where you want to travel to? Hawaii. Immediately. Like,
Like not
not the mall.
not Six Flags.
Yeah. You done skipped over the waters.
Y'all, times have changed. Will Goggins said, do any churches have anything going on like these ideas?
And see, again,
Probably in the church.
yeah, for their members mostly, maybe a few outside, but again, brother Goggins, we go back to resources, right? Those resources are super limited.
I'm gonna say this. When we start talking about resources and churches and their role in the community, I it don't have to be a mega church. I'm not that person at all, but I am very much community oriented. Like I believe some of these churches should be Bible study groups. Just be a study group and sing a few songs. That's all you need to do. And then after you do that, you need to be in the community. And that looks like opening the doors, doing these programs, because my time and my talent are my gifts. And then my 10th would go to my community stuff. Like my 10th went to that van out that it ain't starting. That's my 10th.
Like, look like that.
Drove the damn van one time.
Yeah.
That's my 10th, right? Like,
Yeah.
give
So,
it that way. Give it to a program. Give it to where you can see the results. I'm not gonna say that you don't see the results in your church, but I can see it directly if I order 50 book bags and stuff them with books and bring those children into our church for the program each week.
yeah,
I think that's God work.
it is. We started something a few months ago. Brother Hilliard he was on me about it. It's called the Safe Space, right? And
Mhm.
so it's a platform that allows the teens to talk, parents to learn. Um, our last one, we actually gave out over about $1,000 worth of back to school stuff. So
Okay.
um, we have a live therapist. Dr. Griffin is on site, and so again, we're just doing what we can do in our community. But when we talk about the incentives that you're talking about, that money has to come from somewhere.
Hmm. So when you have churches that are consistently asking, like when the pastors get up there and consistently ask for lifting, I'm about to go out of here. We got 5 offerings, and we gonna lift this one up for whatever. I need somebody to come up with $100 right now. I need you to come on, drop your 100. If you got $100 bill, I want you to hold it up and stretch your hand toward the basket. I'm about to stretch my leg out the door.
Goal line.
Because where is it? What program is this going to? So I'm very passionate about that piece too. I know. I just told my dad today. I know what I need spiritually, and I'm not going to be in a space where I'm not getting that. And I don't feel like if I can't serve in a way that I feel is effective, my praise may be kind of tainted,
Yeah.
right? 9948949 is the number. Let's get these comments in right here. Karen, what is them? She put some little emojis up there. I can't see them. What up, Kendrick? Kendrick says parents inspired us to read by elevating our thoughts with good conversation. And now parents talk about the same mess and children talking. So yeah, our parents would talk to us about they would teach us through conversation. I totally agree with that. Like, hey, how was your day today? I don't even know. Do parents still do that? Good morning. How you feeling today? Who you talking to now? Well, how many friends you got? I asked that question. Who you like this week? Who you don't like? Um,
Mine
yeah,
didn't.
she did.
Wow.
Mine didn't.
She talked about
she
God.
worked third shift.
And
She worked third shift. She did everything uh, uh, chore and church related when we were in school, and when we got out of school, she was asleep.
Okay.
Preparing for her shift that night. I'm talking about 12 years of this pattern.
So your desire to be in school was for that interaction, or what? That variety of that spice of life?
Not, you mean like be at school?
Yeah, like I'm eager to get to school because my mama's asleep.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say was eager to get to school. I think it's just I like once I start when I commit to something, I like to see my commitment through.
You do.
And so I will do it. And that school just was one of those things. And my grandparents were teachers, college educated teachers. Now, by the time I got here, they was retired and done with teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of lessons about stuff came from them, and I just became eager to learn more. And so that it became that.
And
But
you know what? I think I agree with you. I told my mom was trying to teach me something. I told her no. I want to learn it at school. Why are you trying to teach me something? You're not my teacher.
hey,
Like, girl, get your little crazy. I'm going to school. That's what I'm supposed to learn. Mommy, leave me alone.
first teachers at home though.
Mine was at school.
Yours at school.
Well, you know what that does? What that experience did for how I work with parents now is I have something that I encourage parents to do called bed corner conversations.
Okay.
Wow.
Sit on the bed corner, talk to your child about your life. Talk to your child about their day. 10 minutes before they go to sleep. That 10 minutes done 3 or 4 days a week over the course of 10 years becomes a lot of information that the kid have about you. When I work with kids, I be like, tell me about your mama childhood. Every now and then they can tell me about their mama childhood, but for the most part, mamas be gatekeeping what kids know about their life.
Too. Yeah.
Because if you really know what my life was, it'll be harder for me to tell you how to be a good kid.
Absolutely.
Because I fell short in a lot of areas.
Instead of telling me those things, I can be like, dang, Mom, for real. This is what happened. This is why I be at work on a graveyard shift, because whatever the circumstances are. There's a tool, it's on Temu and probably on Amazon as well, where it's the parents diary type book. Let me see what it's called because it would be helpful too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other journals where you and your children can go back and forth, and partners too. It's journaling for the pair. This one is. Let me look at my card. Oh no! Don't process the payment. Stop that. That's not what I meant to
Oh,
do.
you still-
I don't want to pay for that. I'll look and let y'all know when we come back. Yeah, but it is. I think that's
Whatever.
a great guide.
It's been a journal on TikTok, a couple of them. One of them is called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story.
That's
one
the
of them
one.
called Mom, I Want to Hear Your
That's the
Story.
one.
Now, I got a video queued up on TikTok saying, don't just blind buy this for somebody. This will be best suited if you buy it for yourself and have the conversations with your parent. Don't just like give it to them and ask them to fill it out. Actually have these conversations. But a lot of dialogue
That's the
between
one.
parents and kids will be that closeness that they are looking for when they end up going out into the street looking for that closeness.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
that's good.
Self-discovery prompts are also good. I will often send clients some questions like when you're trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to see how well do you know yourself? I know me better than anybody else. Then I may ask one of the questions. Dang, that's a good question right there. Yeah, so that's something that your child will want to know about you too. Like, so mom, why don't you like so and so? I just don't. That's not an answer. Tell the story. Well, when I was 7, your grandma cooked some liver and onions, and to me it smelled like smoke. So I don't like it. That's why I don't eat it, and that's why I don't cook it. Like smoke, mom. Yeah.
But see,
Like
that's
smoke.
for a mama who would
Real
say
story.
that. For some of them, that's too close to my kid being able to tell me they don't like what I cooked. And so if I tell them this story and they start telling me they not gonna eat what I cooked,
Because it smell like
then,
smoke.
yeah, then we got a situation.
We'll come to therapy. What's
So
your
it's
number?
like a gift and a curse. It's like the gift is if you tell your kid these things, he'll be like, well, maybe I should listen to mama because she experienced these things. The curse is if you tell the wrong kid that you did these things, and they're gonna be like, well, why are you telling me I can't? Why are you telling me?
Yeah.
It's you gotta
I
know
mean,
your child.
I
in the
didn't say I
situation.
wasn't gonna knock your teeth out. Now I didn't say that.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. What I said was, you still got a parent too.
You definitely got to know your kid. You got to know the age too. It's got to be
Absolutely.
some kind of maturity from them
Okay.
because they'll turn it around on you real quick these days.
Mhm.
These kids are different.
I almost said something.
Say it.
No.
Did you stop your payment, cuz?
Yeah. Look, if I ain't stop it, the bank was gonna stop it. Like, oh, you've been doing way too much on here. You don't have any money for that. Got bigger things to pay for. All right, coming up in the second hour, yeah, we're gonna talk about the election. Y'all ready for that?
As ready as I'm
Get
gonna
it.
be.
Like y'all are for real?
Get it.
Okay. You're listening to the show right here on B94.9 WATV. Whoever that is calling, hold the line. We're gonna come straight to you when we get back. Right here on B94.9 WATV.
We on the war tour, lady who got the plan, going into every place with a mic in her hand. We on a war tour, lady who got the plan, going each and every place with a mic in her hand. Hey, this is exactly what the city been missing. Let's get them jumping and twisting, thinking and reminiscing. I'm hoping you comprehending this is vital. And lady, put your host, you ain't gonna find another rapper supposed to keep the conversation going. Hold up, you ain't denying no stuff. I know damn, it's like throwing rocks in the train. We ain't gonna never slow down.
Fine deal.
We on a war tour, ladies. We got the plan going each and every place with a mic in the hand.
Oh, nah. Ainsley. What up? Lady Woo and the crew, the guys are here. Gentlemen, let them know who you are.
What's going on? It's your boy Ready Eddie.
And it's your boy Jay Hat.
We in here. Hey, let's go straight back to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with the show.
What's happening?
Hi,
I heard you
hey.
getting a little messy there, Woo.
I do that sometimes. What you talking about? What part?
The Paul, he said, I want to make nobody mad.
Oh yeah, I said that, and that's probably what I was trying to do, huh?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's cool.
It's all right. What you
Yeah,
got tonight?
That's number one.
What's going on?
Well, I love the conversation. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me say this because a lot of things y'all been talking about. Really, all of it is runs together. But I want to talk about this, and I don't know the other guy's name. You know, I know his voice. I don't know his name.
That's Eddie.
Eddie. So I want to say something. Part of the experiment, the social disorder that was created, was to take the man out the house. Okay, take the man out the house, make him underemployed, and the woman single, masculinizing the woman and feminizing the man. No family structure. I mean, we can look at that no family structure, and we can go down some rabbit holes. Like 80% of the 80%, and I won't say 80. I think it's 80% of males incarcerated were raised by single moms. Now, I'm not trying to get at single moms. That's just the facts. If you haven't had you weren't raised in a family structure, you weren't raised with a male, more especially an alpha male, then you don't yourself know how to carry on or make decisions or conduct yourself as a male. Right? That's not getting at somebody, but it is we imitate what we see. My brother and I, we had plenty of alpha males in our lives that we were able to pattern ourselves of. And that made a difference because we could see the difference when our fathers was around compared when they weren't around. And I'm not talking just financial. I'm talking about when certain things come up, they able to sit us down and talk. So this is what I mean by conversation. That was rushing when I texted because I'm working. My dad would say to me, "Boy, that school haven't learned you nothing yet. Boy, it's more than one way to skin a cat." He says, "More than one way to skin a cat." He said, "That was what you talking about?" And he couldn't read or write, but he could count. He had a lot of. Oh, he said, "This is number one saying." He said, "Nothing like bought sense," because see, sometimes we had to buy sense. So what I'm saying is, they had a way to get into our business, into our head, and become the influences that we needed just by conversation. Now, because you don't have a family structure, you don't have a male and a female, a man and a woman to raise children, which is part of the social experiment to disenfranchise us as a people, to raise children, then the children go astray. If you look at all those males, you look at all those, not majority of them, maybe 80% of those who created the crime, they were raised by single parents.
All right. So some stats dropped. Eddie, he was talking to you.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Those the issues I have with that conversation is the stats are kind of being used a little bit incorrectly in terms of the primary component of what creates the crime for those individuals are poverty-stricken environments.
Yeah.
So, and to understand that, you have to look at single-parent homes and the outcomes of single-parent homes when they are financially sustained appropriately versus single-parent homes raised by mothers when they're not. If you look at the difference in the outcomes where they're single mothers and one has money and one has none, the outcomes of the children going to jail and participating in crime are significantly different. So we can't say that because that 80% of people incarcerated come from them single parent households, we can't say that it's because of the single parent household. We got to look at the poverty level of that household. That's one.
Okay.
The other thing is, I think that I think the problem with alpha male is that there's been about 80% alpha and 20% male in how men have delivered these messages to boys, because I guarantee the boys that I'm seeing are boys who are getting punched in the chest because they ain't masculine enough yet. They voice ain't deep enough yet, or they say something that their dad perceive as gay. You got boys who men who disapprove of certain type of male friendships that are healthy on the surface. It's like it's too much alpha and not enough male. It's so many ways that men need to figure out how to be more gentle with their messaging.
Okay.
Right. So even saying that school ain't learned you nothing yet is more than one way to skin a cat. Like, that can be an invalidation of the effort that you putting in, because you could be trying, But if he's saying that because you don't have the knowledge he think you should have, how you feel about yourself now. And I encourage everybody to listen to this song on Kendrick Lamar's album called Father Time, because we always talk about the issues that show up when fathers ain't there. That song is the representation of the issues that show up when fathers are there but wrong.
All right.
Ooh.
So look, that's how it goes over here on the show. There are going to be some new features for the late fall and winter season, where we're going to be introducing this music for you all to go and check out, like a weekly playlist of sorts. So we're going to give you some musical suggestions for all of these conversations. There's one that I just heard this week. I think I'm going to save it since you just dropped that. So Kendrick Lamar, what needs to be the listen this week?
Father Time.
Father Time. Yes. And comment right here. I talk to my kids about my childhood and how I grew up. I also ask them how they feel, what's on their minds, and give them that open communication for them to tell me just about anything. And that's what's up. Have you all been watching The Monsters, the story of the Menendez brothers?
I've been keeping up with it low key, but not really deep into it. That story is crazy.
Eddie. They was like threatening the therapist and everything. You don't really know the truth of the story because parents are no longer here. But it, on the flip side to what we just said about poverty being an issue, being affluent is an issue as well. Being privileged is an issue, or can be an issue. These boys kill their parents, like for real kill. Like, ooh, bad kill. Any kill is bad, but this was like brutal and just heinous. And then you look at like the circumstances for them. There are accusations of molestation. There are accusations of abuse, emotional abuse, all types of stuff.
Incredible accusations. The most recent thing that happened was a letter from their cousin came out. Like, it's stuff that's indicating that these things may have happened.
That some of these things may have happened. That's how I'm feeling. Some of these things happen, but then just seeing, and this is just way off, but we're gonna talk about it. Yeah. Not Eric Menendez, but Lau Menendez. Lau thought he was acting. This was all for like this is some other stuff going on, right? Like, this is not just these things happen to us and so we killed our parents. No. And I just brought it up because they're two, like, on a spectrum, think like they can go way right, way left, but right in the middle, where those of us who are raised in a, as Kamala Harris likes to say, a middle class family, like, or even a lower class family. What is the difference when it comes to those total polar ends of the spectrum? What's in the middle? What makes the middle kind of the best place to be?
Oh, well, on both ends of those spectrums, there's a component of we don't talk to our kids, because on the rich end of the spectrum, it's we got nannies, we got other people to take care of while we deal with like our own lives, right? The things that we do to make money, we got to do it on the rich end. So these kids also ain't being engaged with, but they also not in an environment where the big homie is outside saying, "Hey, little homie, come over here." So on the other end, where these kids on the lower end ain't being talked to, they walk out into the neighborhood and big homie on the corner is like, "Hey, come over here, little homie." And they taking them under their wing for nefarious reasons, but they taking them under their wing and they build a new family in that way. The middle, I think, is when there is healthy communication from a child to a parent, when a parent know their child.
Yeah.
Like in counseling, you and I have both met parents where that parent know that child 100%. And you know what? I ask parents, I'll have my session with my kid, and before my parent leave, I'll be like, I would have asked what the child's favorite color in that session. I'd be like, "What's your child's favorite color?" And their answer to that question tell me a little bit of what I need to know about how much they engaging with their kids.
guess because I'm raising one.
What's her favorite color?
It's pink right now
You answer that real fast and confidently.
because it's been a recent conversation. Because I'm like, girl, when
Yeah.
you start liking it,
Yeah.
so it's stuff like that.
But the ability to know that it's pink right now means that you also know what the last one was, and you likely also knew what the last one was. Like that's what I'm looking for.
So parents who are actually trying to be present and be involved, but their children are teenagers. Like I know you deal with this. Like you
Yeah.
too cool to be emotional, but then you emotional, and it's making me mad because you don't know how to.
Express it.
What are we doing here? You kind of mature. You almost grown. I went to college at 17. I was gone. I was not with my parents at 17. I was doing what I wanted to do at 17.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
looking back at that, I have a 16-year-old who will soon be 17. And I'm like, but you can't even communicate the basic things without me having to cuss a little bit. Eddie, does that make me a bad parent?
It makes you an aggressively intentional parent.
Damn it, I asked you 5 times. And then, but that's when I get response. I don't know who you talking to. So it's probably that 100 times. Who are you talking to? And then we'll kind of giggle it off. So it's about relationship, truly, but then it's about knowing. I think in the middle, what's in the middle? You know, we're talking about both ends of the spectrum. Where either your children are super exposed and privileged, or either they're not unexposed and don't have any opportunities and no resources. What's in the middle is communication. What's in the middle is comfort and rapport and love, right? Like I'm gonna be my authentic self with my child because I don't want you to ever not know that I'm the one. I am the one.
You know, when I graduated from college, my daddy the first time, my daddy came to my graduation. He handed me a box and said, "Here, this costs $1,300."
Dad, why are you telling me that?
All he said. And over time of getting to know him, because he had been in prison my whole childhood.
Okay.
So getting to know him in that way, the way my daddy says I love you or I care about you, I value is through things. It's through money. And he needed me to know how much it costs because he needed to know it wasn't rinky dink. That's how he let me know. So when he does things like that, when I moved up to Charlotte, he gave me his necklace and his bracelet. And I had to take that as this is how I know he values me. I have to translate that in my own internal brain and say, he's letting me know he values me by doing this. He don't have to say I love you. I know that's what he's communicating when he does that. And for parents who use harsh language, but you know you ain't gonna knock her teeth out, and she know you ain't gonna knock her teeth out, what's being translated by her is my mama care about me and the behaviors that I'm doing right now. She's checking me on them. And so regardless if she say them this way, that translation system of knowing that is different than if a parent actually would punch you in your teeth. You know, that's different.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
So I think it's about that translation system. So I don't think it's what you say more than the reality behind what you're saying, which is I care about you and I need to correct you in this moment. And that child being able to interpret that correction, regardless of how harsh it may be, as such, as long as it's that. As long if they really feel that you're gonna punch them in their face, that's wrong. So y'all parents who don't punch your children in the teeth, you shouldn't have done that.
And I hope your hand hurt. Shouts out to Reverend Doctor. Hey, Stephen Hoyt. Thanks for tuning in, Dr. Wu in the house. That's our thing right there.
Bishop.
Yeah, that's our thing right there, Doctor. Okay. 994-8949 is the number. You can be a part of this conversation. We are all over everything because everything is happening, and that's how life happens. It happens in circles, like everything happening at the same time.
I do want to hit this before we get a caller.
Yeah.
You brought up a point about how the affluent also have that same issue. Y'all remember the Columbine shooting?
And the little boy that got off on affluenza.
Man, and roll over all these people in this truck.
These people don't come from a lot of those incidents. They were wealthy, affluent. And again, you know, the element is balance, I think. And sometimes it's just hard to get that and get that communicated to your children. And so what I would say is a lot of times with teenagers, and this is just a nugget, what I've learned, just even with teaching them for this long, is when you're ready to talk, a lot of times they not for whatever reason, but when they ready to talk, you just got to go on, bite the bullet and take that time and listen and be available in that space. Because kids are still kind of fighting that. Well, you know, they fighting for that identity thing. And a lot of times when you try to, get the information, they ain't ready to give it to you. So let
Like,
them
all
have
right
that
then.
space and get it.
It's like, okay.
And you can get that relationship time. So I'm still in that we said bed corner talk. I'm
Yeah.
still in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because don't sit your whole butt on the bed.
Yeah.
Just
Don't
But-
sit on the corner.
just give me my bed. Just,
Another thing is parents when they say when they want their child to talk to them, it's really I want you to tell me something that I want to know. It's not really an open forum for whatever is on your mind.
Yeah.
It's usually I know some information and I need you to verify or something for some trouble purposes. If that's how you engage with your kid, if you lecture your children, you need to create free time for them to actually express what's on their mind. And sometimes without consequence, if it's something that like you would prefer them tell you, if them not getting in trouble in that moment would be more valuable than having to figure out how to, get them consequences for that thing. Every now and then your child need to know, now daddy is who I can go to when this serious.
Yeah.
Otherwise they're gonna be going to their little stupid friends.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be going to their little friends, young parents that's 15 years younger than you. Like it's gonna be that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So it's you gotta nurture that space early. You gotta create that environment for a child early. You can't just start asking for it when they 13 and they start splitting away from you. Because it's come a point where you remember when your child used to hang onto your leg, and now they got their own thoughts and opinions, and you don't agree with them. And it's like he don't even listen to me no more. It's like you got to nurture that space real early when they still hanging onto your leg.
Yeah. And then know how to re-engage. I think that's a big piece of it too, like knowing how to re-engage. So I said something on the panel this past week about being what you needed. Just be what you needed. It was a question about, how can we better serve young people? How can we be more of an influence, be more of an impact? Be what you needed. I think that's simple. You know what you lacked. And I know for me, I was different. I was always different. Sometimes I was, shy. And that was weird because right. But that was a part of I was kind of like, I guess I wasn't sure. And that came only in spurts because I don't know what that was about. But I found that my parents and family always kind of pushed me to be who I was, which is what it was. But then I would be in other spaces and kind of feel something else. It was weird, but I got over that really quickly. But the other piece was being understood because I knew that I knew I had all this different stuff going on. I knew I was different. So when I met other eccentric adults, I would tell, hey, I met someone, I tell my parents, and they probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. And they would cultivate that space for me. So I think us being able to acknowledge that our children aren't going to be just like us. They aren't going to be exactly what we want them to be or who we want them to be. But as parents, our job is to put them in the right situations, to pivot to what they need, as opposed to trying to pioneer it. No, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to wear that. I don't want to eat that.
Listen, another thing I tell parents that's a real hard pill to swallow is if you want to raise a child that's unapologetic about using that voice is going to have to be used against you sometimes.
Ooh.
It's going to have to be. You got to learn how to navigate it and help that child use that voice appropriately. Okay, we know you won't talk to me like that, son, but let me tell you how that work in the real world.
Right.
Let me tell you how to navigate that kind of conversation with a boss who trying to son you. You know what I'm saying? And it's inappropriate.
Like know when to do it now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when you in the office waiting in line and somebody keep passing over you. How do you talk to people that's professionals that's treating you a certain type of way? Like for a person to be unapologetic about their voice, at some point the rabbit gonna have to have a gun.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a parent to hear because a lot of parents want and need that order that represent discipline, that represent you don't stand up against me.
So that struggle for what is that? What's that concept that we learned? The struggle for control over structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the whole concept of it, but I think that's what it is. In my house, this is what I need things to run like. But I still want you to have a voice. I still want you to be able to be. How did we even get on this topic? What are we talking about?
We picked up from the
what is
it's
this?
all good.
Did this come from shootings? Yes.
It came from the call.
How did we get there for the caller to even go there?
Because
What
he
did
talked
this
about
start from?
alpha male daddy families 80%.
Yeah,
so I had to, get my little piece.
Yeah, we way over there in that lane.
We went
But
left.
It's genuine. So I think
Geez.
we got some good commentary here.
Guys, you just lost me. That was great. That was all awesome. It's always awesome when it comes together, but I just have to get reminded, how did this happen? this was a test, I would have been like,
And like I'm gonna get sucking into these traps all the time because this is what I be doing.
Yeah. And I'm with you for a few minutes then. Squirrel.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Okay, so look, we got to do this too. We got about 30 minutes, so we got time. But the election, I know it's like 15 days away. 15 days away. In 15 days, Donald Trump could be the president again, or Kamala Harris could be the first woman of color to be the president. It could go either way. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling the same way, baby.
Let me switch the music up, cause
I'm feeling the same way. Early voting record, Georgia, makes me feel good.
Yeah, record setting. So I'm doing something else on this side. So I'm not gonna give any sound effects. I'm doing some other work, you guys. Georgia, I thought they were also supposed to be hand counting votes.
Well, they took a little L this week. Alabama did too. So those states and their ploys and plots.
Yeah, the judge shot down their ability to make them decisions.
Yeah,
like they were trying to certify an election.
How
Boards
are you
can't certify election,
right? And how would that even go? How are you going to hand count ballots?
Just the delay time to November. It's the same script. But for Alabama, the huge win was they got to get them people back on the voter record.
Okay.
The ones they purged.
So you need to check to make sure that your voting status is still updated and you know where to vote.
And y'all, they purged a lot of people.
They did
in a lot of these states. I bet if you can go back and look at it, whether they got an R versus a D next to their name, I bet that'd even be more telling.
While we discuss that, I want you all to do what you do. I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to go find the resources. Have at it, you guys.
Okay. Well, so my thing about the voter list here in Alabama, it's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. You didn't give time, no warning, right? Just did it. And you did it at the wrong time. So what's your intent, right?
Yeah.
And so just the history of this great state and the political atmosphere is never on our side, right?
Yeah.
Never on our side. So I really, really wish there was a way to tell who was, but at the same time, in my heart and gut of guts, I'm already knowing
absolutely
that the vast majority of those people had a D by their name or look like me, right? So, it's like here we are, it's 2024, and we still have these strategies, these behind the scenes strategies to keep control, to keep power, and it's just crazy that we are even talking about this in 2024, Doc.
And we kind of know what your intention is, but like they've been able to hide those intentions behind something that don't make sense, but they can spin it. Like when you talk about the voter ID, everybody should have an ID because blah, blah, blah. Well, why would you do it now at this time? And it's like they're scrambling so much that they're losing the ability to reasonably justify why they are making some of the actions that they're making.
Right. But you also know it's hard for some brothers to get IDs when they get out. Yeah. We got whole programs and entities that have to help them get their IDs because it's hard for them to get their IDs. So, again, it's the systemic stuff that irks me. So yeah. But I did want to look at these numbers. So more than double in Georgia has early voted. And typically that's a good thing for the blue dots, because over the years the trend is early voting normally goes to Democrats, because a lot of Republicans actually vote on that day.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, if we had record number voter registration here in the fall, and then we got record number early turnout, I think that's a good sign for Georgia.
Absolutely good sign, especially in these last elections being so close at that point. So when you start getting turnouts that are topping previous turnouts, it just means favor into that direction of that trending shift.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, over 300,000. Last time was like 160.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm loving all of that. Loving all of that. Did y'all see Obama and the backlash he received for
Absolutely.
his comments?
What did he say?
Well, he basically told them vote. Well, he felt like I've never heard Obama talk like this. I've been following Obama since four, and so I'm like, okay, you could have did this when you was president. We'll be a
Yeah.
whole lot further along. But so basically, he came from this vantage point. You all are using the stuff that really makes no sense. Just say you don't want to vote for a woman, right? That was one.
Okay.
And the other one is, how can you be black supporting this dude? Basically, if you black, you whack. If you don't vote for Kamala, and it was
Straight like that.
but it was the voice, it was the tone. Like I've never heard him use this tone before. I've never heard him use just the tenor of his convo. It's a little, it was a little like, whoa, he like touched me. And so, Stephen A and a lot of the pundits came after him, but I felt what he was saying because I've already said it in my head and I've said it to people like the stuff you're saying does not make sense if you're voting for this guy for that reason. Like you hearing it on YouTube, it's so much disinformation, like the economy, blah, blah, blah. The black economy is way better now. And so when you look at the actual things that they are saying, not all Republicans, but this new group of black MAGA, you just don't want to vote for a woman.
Well,
just say that.
Because Obama previously, when he was president, mentioned himself being a feminist, right? And so it's not surprising that he would have that kind of language for the moment. But that's what the system of patriarchy breeds. And unfortunately, in a decision for certain black men to choose their manness over their blackness, they choose their manness. And their manness is going to have them vote for the man every time. I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen Le'Veon Ball's shirt where it said Trump or Tramp.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of ways to disagree with the political person without evoking that misogynoir. And that is a conversation that needs to be had.
I'm back in the conversation now as a woman. In New York, I was talking to New York, my former radio friend, and she was saying that up there, she's not as optimistic as we are in other places because of the mixed bag of religions and how those religions will not allow that, like, women have no role in leadership or in any of that. So those big groups who would very well benefit from her, from her whole platform, I'm just simply not, they're not going to vote for her. Neither are their women. Because of their religious beliefs.
That's the second reason. Because the first reason for the Muslim communities is of the current administration's handling of Israel, Palestine, Gaza, all of that stuff going on. So there's been an open, active campaign within the Muslim community against Harris because of that. So the religious piece would be the second reason that they wouldn't, because there's been a very vocal part of the Muslim community right now.
And see, the only pushback to that is she the VP. That ain't her role, dog. All she could do is say, hey, I don't agree with you. But at the end of the day, it's his decision.
Yeah, he's the president. What was this thing that Trump said was it today or yesterday where he actually used some vulgar language at a rally about her being a something vice president? What was that? What did he say? Did he say she was a itty vice president? We should be tired of that? I think he said that.
Anybody criticizing Kamala Harris in her role as VP, what did Mike Pence do? Somebody tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else?
Unless you can tell me what Mike Pence did, don't bring up what she doing as well. They making it seem
any other vice presidents.
Any of them.
What they do?
Bring them up. I don't. Lyndon B. Johnson took over when Kennedy got.
So something got to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, she took over. Well, no, she didn't take over. She just got
did.
The endorsement. Biden's still the president.
Correct.
And I said this the first time we started talking about this was I think she's held behind the bars of being the vice president from saying what she would do differently, because then they would just use her disagreeing with the current administration and it'd just be a different problem. I think even if she was going to do something different than what Biden is doing, I don't think she can say it now. From the
I'm
from
still
the
a part of this
political
for
strategy.
15 days.
So he called her SH vice president.
Yeah,
Ouch.
itty vice president. Like, bro.
Yeah, the whole profane rant.
Yeah, he went
Okay.
in. Now, all she said was that he is canceling interviews and rallies and stuff because he's exhausted. I think they said exhausted. You can't be exhausted. You were just talking about Joe. Well, what are you doing? You can't do that.
What I'll say is that it was a bold move for her to go on Fox News. And when I say that I ain't seen a politician more prepared for something that they should be prepared for in their life.
Yeah.
She
was ready for that
did
moment.
really well at that interview. And the problem is Brett Baier was really trying hard to catch her up in a bunch of moments. They were playing the wrong interviews. They was misleading the conversation. They was trying to get her to say some stuff about the American people. It was one part where he was like, well, 50% of the country is voting for him. What are they, stupid? And he said, no, I would never talk about the American people like that. Trump talks about the American people like that. He talks about the enemy.
You got to be
within.
ready, baby.
He talks about turning the military on the, and I'm like, oh man. It's like they said they're going to do this in the interview. This is what you need to say, and it happened.
But I think she already knows that. Black women are really smart.
Oh,
we stay ready. I'm gonna always be ready. What you say?
Magic.
I'm always coming. What? Oh, I'm always ready now. You don't play with me now.
I give her big time kudos. To
she
do
went
that interview,
full.
to do that interview in that space.
Yeah, but why not?
Yeah.
I ain't a liar. I'm coming on here with the truth.
She came on there straight, like, and to you got that look. I was like, oh yeah, she went to Howard. You got that look. You're like, this is not, and to catch him in the lie, it was so powerful, right? But
we do that. We gonna catch you in that lie every time.
To catch him in that lie, dog, it was like, I could just like, man, you got caught.
Excited.
It was like you got caught cheating, bro.
Now try to deny it.
Another one of my favorite moments for her in the last few weeks is when she went on the Call Me Daddy podcast, I think. And she said, they said, what Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that, like, I have kids and they keep me humble. So Kamala doesn't have anything to keep me humble. And her response was, well, first off, not every woman is aspiring to be humble. I was like, ooh. Ooh.
Do I have some shots fired? No,
I was like,
Like, watch your mouth.
But of all the ways that society would expect a woman to answer that question, it would be justifying where she get her humility from. But like to hit,
she should have said, "My cats keep me humble." That's what it is, and the H is silent.
Another, I don't know. Like, what happens in these last 2 weeks is gonna be a crazy run of different stuff they doing. So Trump done went to Pennsylvania and worked in McDonald's giving out fries and bags of food just to challenge that
chicken.
Him saying that
he got him a big
giving out them chicken mats.
Stop it. This is a challenge. What?
But it's kind of the challenge, the idea that Kamala said that she worked at McDonald's when she was in college. And he saying that she's a liar. And so that's kind of play on that. But also, if on TikTok, if y'all haven't been to Harris's TikTok page, there is no way a young 20-something-year-old ain't running her TikTok campaign and giving like suggestions for them ads. Yes, they are very connected with memes, very connected with current media. If y'all have seen those balloon Papa Fine Love videos, she got an ad for that.
Okay.
To where everybody's standing there with the balloon, the dude come there and they say, okay, how tall are you? 6'4", and then one of the women asked him, who are you voting for in the election? And he said, I'm not voting. They all popped it, and one of them put her on the ground and stepped on it. And it's like, she is very familiar with what's going on and what is going to draw the younger group, because it looks like a regular Pop Your Balloon video. It don't even look like a politics ad. When you go to it, it looked like just like something you would find on YouTube. But it's an ad. I'm
going to tell y'all something that before I went on my hiatus for my birthday and my life celebration, I was talking to my group. And you all know these are young men between 17 and 24, mostly young men, but women too. But the guys had the opinions about voting. And their thoughts were that Trump, like, they rock with Trump. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, okay, y'all are lost cause. And I was like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about restorative justice right now. Trump doesn't care about your justice being restored. Okay, that's the first thing. That everything that I'm teaching you, what you're saying defeats that. Okay, that's the first thing. I said, well, why wouldn't you vote for Harris? And they came up with some, I be wanting to cuss so bad. Because it really came up with some ish. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, you know what? Actually, I'm happy that you're not going to vote anyway. I know you're not going to vote anyway. Why you say that? Because you're not. So this conversation is null and void. Oh, when I do that, oh, they get mad. What you mad for? You gonna vote? Okay. But just the idea that you think that way and you say it publicly. Why would you why do you like Trump? They don't even know why. Yeah, okay.
Okay, before we can move any further,
You know what I'm saying? Because wait.
I want to give her a big shout out. Happy birthday, VP Harris. Yay.
Guess what she is? She's a Libra.
Libra lady.
Libra's running the world.
I had a conversation this week, and I'm like, I've been talking about this. We done watched, and I had a guy that just this week was like, man, she ain't gonna. So basically, she ain't gonna give us no check, and he's registered to vote, right? And I'm like, did Trump give you a check? Yeah, Trump gave a check. I'm like, were you asleep when we was just talking about this? Trump didn't give you no check. Congress did, but it's the disinformation, it's the misinformation, and it's the voter apathy that it just bores me.
So and then I like to have the attitude of leave them behind, right? Like some people you end up having to leave behind.
You do.
All right, leave you, kick them off the island.
And let's say this: Kamala's website has a plan for black men.
It's there.
It's on her website.
I ain't going to her website.
And listen, men, if we look for the men, reasonable men.
Yeah.
If there is nothing else we can take from this moment, we now know that a political candidate can put a platform for black men on that page.
She ain't gonna do the stuff that's on there.
Like, if she's doing this to court us, it don't matter.
Okay.
It don't matter. We ain't even had this dialogue.
So now we're at least having it.
The only thing we've been hearing about black men is negative stuff for the longest term, and now we got a president that's saying, "Hey, y'all ain't heard. Let's put y'all somewhere." Whether they do it or not, my perspective of the Democratic Party is Democratic Party doing nothing is better than the Republican Party doing something.
Okay, maybe that answers this question
from my vantage point
that I'm pointing at. Why do you like Harris? Because she's not Trump. Why do you like Harris? Why do you like Harris? That's the question that we got.
Well, first off,
I saw it.
Let's be clear. I said this before.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther fist in the air for Harris. Foot on that neck when she wins, just like every politician. I don't like politicians. I don't trust politicians. Politicians are swayed by the power that's in front of them to say what needs to be said to get what needs to be gotten.
Right.
So I don't care about the person. I think a lot of people treat the presidency like a popularity contest, and they're trying to see who they like the best. I only care about what things I value.
Right.
Like, I grew up with my daddy in prison. I grew up with my high school having lost all of their money. And I grew up with my mama working for a capitalist society. Neil Gorsuch was a terrible Supreme Court pick for the sake of capitalism. Betsy DeVos was very harmful for our country as it pertains to all the charter schools that she introduced into the system, which some of them have been introduced into Alabama.
Yeah.
That's just one part of it. Let's go to the other part. If all of the federal court seats that Trump has put people in, we talked about this last time, and made those lifetime appointments. I work with kids who needs a reasonable judge, who needs a judge who will look at them the same way they'll look at some white boy who done assaulted a woman behind a trash can and say, well, what about his future? He got our kids need that fairness too.
And so you do feel like Harris would be the best representative for those issues?
I think they won't put in Kamala ain't gonna create a system that has Kamala loyalists and that end up being the reason why she chose them to be in those seats. They had to be Trump loyalists for him to choose them.
Yeah, we don't really rock like that as a people, Kendrick. So that's what I'm going to say, because just as a people in general, like before any conspiracy theories, before any of the rest of that stuff, we just as a people, I can't connect with the other candidate. So that's just it. I mean, she represents.
I'm an independent.
But yeah, and I kind of can feel that.
And when I look at the arguments, right? Yeah. You shape and craft the argument.
Yeah.
So one of the things that a lot of black men especially are voting with Trump on is the economy. I even saw Antonio Brown's comments about how she's gonna how Trump would be better for the economy for us, right? But then I look at the numbers and it don't match. So two things could be true. Trump, you could have
Trump
had
paid him to like he
well,
gave him a lot of money to say that.
well, yeah, but things change and facts do too. Stats do three. At the time, Trump did have the lowest unemployment. Biden has surpassed those lows. So Biden's economy, by fact, by numbers, and by stats, is better because the black unemployment rate is better under Biden than under Trump, right? The whole unemployment rate is better, but specifically your issue, my issue is my people are working, right? So then you look at the HBCUs, right? And he did so much. Biden surpassed that, right? And so everything that they're talking about that centers around pro-Trump is really based on some stats that were 7 years ago.
Okay. And the world is changing every day, which goes back to the initial conversation. I want to throw some things out at you guys about the issues themselves. Okay. Abortion. The biggest issue or the biggest question with abortion is to ban it or make it legal. Kamala says legal. Trump says ban.
Okay.
Climate change. Should climate change be a top priority? Kamala says yes. Trump says no. He says it's a hoax.
That's what he said.
Well,
But
this
he
hurricane
spent a
that
lot
just
of money
destroyed-
on it.
That hurricane that just destroyed Asheville would say differently.
Okay.
This has been predicted. That the strength of hurricanes and how much damage they can do has been predicted by scientists through monitoring climate change.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not just a hoax. And we didn't really talk a lot about abortion, but I'm gonna say legal because that's an independent individual decision. I'm not gonna be a good parent, maybe, or I don't have the resources, or whatever the case may be.
Or
I don't want to do this.
look at it like this. America is dictating that women be the mandatory child bearers of our country. That don't sound like some North Korean stuff to y'all. That don't sound like
it is what it is.
I don't want to do it. I want to be able to have an abortion. Okay. Criminal justice. How to ensure effectiveness and fairness in law enforcement is the issue here.
it definitely ain't telling the police that it's okay if you hit the person that you apprehended head on the car before you toss them in there. It ain't that. Now, don't get me wrong. Kamala Harris got her. I'm sure her perspective on police is very friendly on police. Don't get me wrong, but she ain't told nobody that it's okay to knock somebody's head out why they haven't even been convicted of a crime.
She says that public safety requires community trust, has supported better training, banning chokeholds, and prosecuting police misconduct. That's what she's saying. Trump says that the police are under siege, cut back active federal oversight of excess force. Those supported a database to track it. I want to see who's being forceful. Then he admires Chinese approach of quick trials and a death penalty for drug dealers, so there will be a zero drug problem. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Let me stop right there
What you want to
because
say?
in this administration they did push to further getting people off that with nonviolent offenders because a lot of brothers are locked up for weed.
Oh yeah,
right. And just Monday she came out about the legalization of the federal code. Do you know how much money the federal government will get? Now I ain't saying that you should smoke or not, but I'm just saying
it's all up to you.
You did that with alcohol. And the only reason you went back to alcohol is because it kept going, and you realize how much that of tax revenue you can get from alcohol, right?
Well, I ain't never smoked a day in my life because it's illegal.
That's the only reason. Well, I
would try it
if it was legal.
If it was legal, I might do a little something
between Normandy and West.
I might do a little something if it's legal.
I can't mess with that no more. I can't handle that no more.
Another piece on the police tip is that, like, just real close to us, Vincent, their police department was disbanded several years ago because of racist texts.
I remember that. Okay,
so
right up the road, right up to it.
So I mean, if we can have whole departments that need to be disbanded because of these text threads, why would we believe that the racist candidate is the best one that's going to be able to target these issues?
Just because we like to be at odds. Here's another education.
Okay.
The issue is limit teaching about racism and gender identity. We know that that's called CRE, right?
Critical race. Yeah.
Is that one of them where they don't want to talk
CRT.
about
CRT.
CRT?
Yeah.
What I said? What the hell is the
CRE.
CRE?
You was close.
That's a test,
That's
ain't it?
concussions. Oh, that's CTE. CRE.
What the hell?
Ain't that a test we gotta take?
I don't know,
no.
child.
CRE. GRE. I know.
CRE.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But the issue is limiting teaching about racism and gender identity. Kamala says no. And of course, Trump says yes, we should limit it. Don't tell the truth to these children.
Well, let's talk about what happened because CRT being taught is a college level course, but they've used the discourse to ban all of the stuff that they've been banning in schools regarding these certain type of books, anything race related, anything that's indicating that white people are more,
What wrong?
More wrong or power differentiation,
Wronger.
any of that.
Mhm.
If you teach that stuff in school, you get in trouble. And they're using that dialogue to do that.
Yeah, it's the buzzwords. That's all.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what we teach in K-12 education. I know that.
Okay.
But again, he also wants to take away the public education system, right?
So what he want? What kind of system you want?
They want charter and homeschools.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Elections. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election? Kamala says yes. And of course, Trump says no. So it's things like that. Environment. The issue. Loosen or tighten environmental regulations. Kamala says tighten them. Trump says loosen them. Gun laws. Well, let me go back to that. In the environment, we got to think about why, honestly, like why I'm breathing how I'm breathing. Wildlife, where we, what emissions, all types of things that the environment, what we're looking at. She wants to tighten, saying supporting environmental justice in California prosecuted polluters. Stop polluting. What does that mean? I'm burning, not just burning leaves, not that, but like for real deal, polluting the air, the water, all of that. Chemtrails. And the Biden administration issued more than 100 environmental regulations. Trump, on the other hand, says loosen them, weaken or ended more than 125 environmental protections, including wetlands and wildlife. And he will reverse those Biden policies. Care anything about that?
As it pertains to businesses and Trump's advocacy for businesses to be able to do what they want to do, because Trump always been trying to do what he want to do. He wants the equivalent of a business to be able to stand up with a shotgun and tell somebody, get out of here while I'm doing my business. Like, he don't want nobody, like he advocates for nobody being able to come tell a business what you're doing is harmful. And we know what business do is harmful. Because as soon, look at it, look at in Conyers, Georgia, where that plant exploded. That is probably a low regulation. They not following these rules. They not keeping up with what needs to. A plant that have chemicals in it ain't got no business exploding into the population.
Facts.
My homeboy up there said that they told him that they need to turn off the air conditioner in the summertime and not go outside the house. My house, I'm finna sit in here 85-degree temperature because like, what are they doing about that? These companies get slapped on the wrist that one party is saying, well, I mean, stuff happens, so whatever. Another one is saying, no, stuff don't happen when you intentional and when you make sure that you do what you're supposed to do every time. That's just, it just don't make sense. Some of the stuff that Republicans want is just not logical if the goal of the government is to take care of the people. And I also want to be like, anybody who say it's a business, it should be run as a business, which Lord Jamar from Brand Nubians recently on an interview talked about. Him being a Trump supporter is throwing me for real. But he said, the country is a business. It should be run like a business. And this B word ain't run no business before in her life. And it's like, America is not a business, y'all. A government is not a business. It's just not. It shouldn't be run like a business.
But people see every system as a business. School systems.
No, what I'm saying, in the capitalist society, the businesses that we have, their objective is to earn capital, and is not intended to take into consideration of the people under them. Matter of fact, in the corporatist society that we got, it's to extract as much from the employees and get as much labor as you can at the lowest cost. The goal of a government is supposed to be to tend to all of the people as equally as possible. I
That's
don't
what it
think
should be, right?
I don't think you can run a government the way that you run a capitalist business. I just don't think so.
This is a business. Get in where you fit in. Let's look at gun laws. To loosen or tighten gun regulations. Kamala says to tighten them. Every person deserves the freedom to live safe from gun violence. She supported the bipartisan gun safety bill and required background checks for gun show and online sales. Trump, on the other hand, says loosen them to NRA. No, we will lay a finger on, no one will lay a finger on your firearms. Plans to roll back Biden gun restrictions. Reversed Obama era background checks for those with mental illnesses. Now, this one here says a lot because it's the mental illness piece and the access to firearms and whatnot and background checks. So, what are your thoughts on that one? Just the gun protections period. We went from having to have a permit, you had to apply, you had to be, first of all, even to get the permit, that was a whole thing. I look forward to being able to go and get the permit. I look forward to being able to buy the gun and it be cleared because I was, I was sound and sane.
You got to have a permit to drive a car.
Yeah. To
You
get
have to have a permit
yeah.
to cut hair. You got to have license and permits to do just about anything that you want to do.
But
Even
not
to drive a
these guns,
motorcycle,
though.
drive a boat.
Mhm.
You need a license for the gun. Period.
Some
Point
type
blank.
of training, some
Yeah,
type of
all that.
something.
But even if we just go back to the 90s when, and that's the other thing that Trump removed. If we can just go back to the 90s when they did have those bans on those style rifles, right? We're not talking about take everybody gun. We're saying have provisions and parameters in place, right? So that bad people can't get the guns. When I mean by bad people, those who have ill intent. I don't think guns necessarily is the issue because a gun sitting on the shelf ain't did nothing to nobody. But at the same time, the gun that's on the shelf that gets put in the wrong hands is a problem for everybody. So I think the background checks is needed and some way to tap into mental health databases is needed because again, people getting guns and people with bad intentions, getting those guns in their hands is bad for everybody. That's my thoughts.
I think it's a thin line with the mental health piece. It's really hard because I mean, just because somebody got a diagnosis of schizophrenia, don't mean that it haven't been medicated properly for the last 25 years.
That is true.
You know, and so I think that becomes a slippery slope. But I do think that, like, I think establishment Republicans have lost the plot as it comes to what makes sense as it pertains to like weapons. Like, if we don't have to ban ARs, but like a higher level of making sure we know who got them.
Yeah.
You know what? I know people don't like that. I don't like the government in my business, but it's like there's a sacrifice that comes with safety and with community and with figuring out how to make our world a place for everybody. The issue that nobody cares about the world being better for everybody. They just care about being able to do whatever they want to do without considering it. And there's no better showing of that than people just not even wanting to use the proper language for people, the proper terminology. You know, like we just want to do what we want to do. We want to say what we want to say.
And one day it's all going to crash and go away.
Yeah. That whole woke thing is like
another one of them buzzwords.
It's a buzzword. It just mean it's just a new racist to do.
Yeah, you woke people.
Yeah, like
I'm black,
and we don't even use it like that.
We
right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you so woke. Then we stopped using that in the early 2000s. We had head reps and unks on. Okay, let's keep going. Healthcare, repeal or expand the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Obamacare has worked for me.
Yeah, expand.
Okay.
I know a lot of pastors that have taken advantage and helped the churches out tremendously.
Yeah. Entrepreneurs. People that are W-9 contract employees. We may not have insurance plans from the different organizations that we work with. We get this and it works. Trump just don't want it because it says Obama is affordable. Like he don't like it. But Kamala says expanded. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege.
I agree. We can't be the richest country in the world and don't have
the sickest people.
Yeah. But again, the whole system is we don't treat you to get well. We treat you to maintain. We don't treat symptoms, not illnesses.
Said terminated. Obamacare is a catastrophe.
But you kept it.
As promised, as president, promised to replace it with something terrific. That's what he said, something terrific. But repeal failed in the Senate by 1 vote. Supported an unsuccessful lawsuit to overturn it.
He has concept of a plan, remember?
I'm gonna do something. I hadn't quite, just
Y'all
don't.
know within all the money that we send Israel, they have free healthcare over there.
They sure do.
Like, why we not paying for ourselves to have that? Like, why we not paying for American people to have that? And why we fighting so hard against having it? That's the crazy part.
No, we're not fighting for everybody not to have it. I don't want my tax dollars to go to you.
But
Bro.
your tax dollars are going somewhere anyway.
They are, but I don't want them to go to you to make you well, brother.
Well, okay. Let's skip around a little bit. Israel and Gaza. And like I'm still I kind of would we're gonna have to dive into that. I know by the time we come back, it'll be time for class. Well, it'll be time for
It'll be
election
class
then, right?
We'll have
We have 1
a
week. Okay.
That'll be the last show.
I really want to put some
No, we got 2
effort.
shows left.
You sure? Before November 5th?
Yeah, next week will be the third. Yeah, this week and then next week.
Okay. So like some research and some studying on Israel and Gaza.
Like I told you, I can fill in some gaps.
I'm gonna do some research and some studying. Anybody that's interested in being a part of that conversation, even if it's from an educated standpoint or from an ignorant standpoint, either or, I want to have a very robust conversation about that because I don't feel like people understand. First of all, why are we even involved in it? Why is that even making local news? And what's our role in that?
This weekend.
Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. That some other issues to be paying attention to and listening to. They don't see anything the same way. Taxes, Ukraine and Russia. That's another conversation, right? Why are we involved in that? Voting rules, taxes, student financial aid, Social Security, minimum wage, marijuana, of course, LGBTQ rights, labor, and immigration. Those are the other issues. Yeah. So it's a lot of different issues that should help you shape your thought on your vote and to just tap into and see what both candidates see about it. So if you want more information on what we've discussed today, you can head over to guides.vote. Guides, GUIDES.vote. Okay. What else, guys? We got about 3 minutes before we get out of here.
Well, I will go back to this weed thing. I think another issue or another thing about it, the states have always been laboratories and experiment settlements for a large part of what we do in the national government. About 27, 29 states have already made this thing official. So over half of the states of the union have already legalized it.
Okay. I'm talking about when I was on my trip. I walked out of every store, every corner I went to, somebody was rolling up and smoking. I'm like, it says a lot. It's legal, but then to me, my mental health hat was clicking. Like, why everybody need to smoke? I'm talking about 4 o'clock in the morning. I walk outside, somebody standing right there rolling up. I'm like,
the rent just went up.
You just woke up.
that rent renewal letter was crazy.
Like this is a
grocery
thing. I'm glad it's legal. You don't have to go to jail for it no more. But now I want to figure out why everybody got to be doing it. That's another topic too. Anything else? 1 minute.
Educate yourselves, man.
Yeah.
Educate yourselves. Don't get caught up in the popularity contest. The popularity contest is not it. Like I said, I go back through my life and I look at the reasons why I support one group over the other one. I don't call myself a Democrat or a Republican, but all of my decisions have overlapped with Democrat decisions because my life has just been one in which what they do is help me out.
Yeah, your community background.
Yeah. Well, we're out of here. It's Magic City Classic Week. I got to go prepare my home for the classic and get my outfits lined up. Y'all be blessed this week. I'll chat with you tomorrow at noon right here in Lady Wu's Midday Fun Shui, kicking off with the free lunch flashback. The guys, thank you so much for always having great conversation. We'll check y'all next Sunday. Maybe. We're not too tired. Bye. Be vital.
Peace.
BS Birmingham, WTV Birmingham, a Courtney French Broadcasting Company.